Yeah, Janelle Scott, what we usually see on the news is the aftermath of the crime. But what's happening out there before the shots are fired, before the body is covered on the sidewalk? Tonight, I can show you what's really going on every day out in the open in one of Louisville's most dangerous neighborhoods. When Louisville's West End looks like the Wild West. When kids get caught in the crossfire too, a 4-year-old, a 15-year-old, another 15-year-old at a birthday party, 3 victims in 3 days. There's more blame flying around these days than bullets.
The problem is with leadership. The hope of a good job and career.
Gun laws are very, very weak.
We don't have relationships.
The problem is the parents.
The problem, according to my sources, is simple. It's not new, but it's hard to document. The people who live here don't want to talk about it because they don't want to get shot. They say the problem is drug dealing in places like this, the Beecher Terrace public housing complex. I spend 2 weeks undercover parked in the community center parking lot, recording what's really going on with a hidden camera. No one knows I'm here, not even police. The first thing I notice on the corner of 12th and Cedar is a lot of cash on display, fistfuls of it. That's because there are a lot of transactions going on here, like this, what appears to be crack rocks doled out and stuffed in pockets. 1 minute later, a few feet away, he pays for the purchase. Every day, as early as 11 a.m., they stand right out along the street in plain view, passing around and inspecting what appears to be packaged drugs wrapped in clear plastic baggies. They don't always make a sale. Sometimes the shoppers take a good whiff or a closer look and pass on the purchase. But business appears to be booming. Sellers count cash, work the phones, and inventory their goods in tied-off plastic bags. Some are more careful, storing the wrapped goods in their mouth in case cops come and spitting them out when it's time to serve up customers. On May 23rd at 6 p.m., I finished recording a day of transactions on the corner of 12th and Cedar. 4 hours later,
they found a black male outside of an apartment.
Metro Police respond to a homicide in Beecher Terrace. A man shot to death at the corner of 12th and Cedar. The next day, the neighborhood is packed with police and media crews reporting the murder. As soon as they clear out, the dealers come back out. Undaunted by cops, a corpse, and the press corps, they're even more brazen. This guy sits out on his porch with a baggie filled with what looks like white crack rocks, doling them out to customers, and then doling out a handgun to one of the people who was watching the transactions. That's right, that's a handgun. Remember, it's all going on right next to a community center, a playground, and kids. It's happening a few feet from the Stop the Killing signs activist Chris 2X has posted. In fact, I record him walking right through the drug activity and then show him what's going on here.
The best way that I can relate to this issue as far as what you documented is I'm disappointed. This isn't helpful. I feel that what this report will reveal hopefully is an urgency for us to do our own internal cleansing, because again, I don't believe law enforcement is going to be the save-all solution to try to get us out of this problematic situation.
Sometimes law enforcement passes by every 15 minutes. Sometimes it's 2 hours in between passing patrol cars. Officers also get out, knock on doors, and question residents. But the people here flash signs, motioning to buyers and sellers when police officers approach. I can always tell when a cop is coming because the crowds break up and flee fast. And after officers leave the area, drug activity fires back up. People using, people selling, right out on the porches and sidewalks, pulling crack pipes out of shirts, cleaning and packing pipes and blunts out in the open. So why don't any of the people who live here and see this every day call police?
They numb to it. They just dismiss it because they don't want to be involved in it.
Lavelle White lived in Beecher Terrace. He just graduated from college and just got appointed by the mayor to a group that's tackling the violence problem.
I know my day might be numbered, but you live in, so it's like your environment, you're used to it. So you kind of like, it's like you living in a war zone or something, but you don't know really the war is going on.
Now, still no arrest in the homicide that happened on the corner where I was recording. Assistant Police Chief Kenton Buckner came here and looked at our video. He says it's frustrating. Many of those people have long criminal histories. They keep getting released from jail, and they can't arrest their way out of this problem. Much more of his reaction to my investigation tomorrow at 6. Working for you, John Bull, Wave 3 News. Scott, Janelle, if you've driven up and down I-65 in southern Indiana lately, you've seen it. A sudden proliferation of people up on these interstate exit ramps asking for money not far from disaster recovery centers. Our viewers ask me, what's going on? What's the real story? Tonight, I have some answers. They lost lives, homes, and jobs. The people of Clark County met misery March 2nd when this tornado roared through southern Indiana. Trucks filled with donations, rooms filled with volunteers, and at the same time, we noticed southern Indiana exit ramps along I-65 suddenly and consistently filled with men and women holding signs asking for help, claiming to be homeless or hungry or jobless. Many of them standing just 50 yards from one of the disaster recovery centers set up for tornado victims. But they don't know we're watching and following and discovering they're not disaster victims, not homeless, and many are not even living in this state. On a couple of occasions, we watched this guy suit up in a parking lot a block away from the interstate, putting on a huge backpack, trudging over to the Veterans Parkway exit, and collecting money with a sign that says, "Veteran, need work." On March 21st, police tell him he's breaking the law. He acts like he's leaving, but he just hides around the corner. 15 minutes later, he's collecting in the same spot. When a cop chases him off a second time, we follow him to Walmart, then the bus stop, where he embarks on a long trip crossing the Ohio River into Kentucky, transferring buses in Louisville, and eventually getting off on Fern Valley Road in the south end of Jefferson County, a nearly 2-hour, 25-mile trip each way to collect money at a southern Indiana exit ramp. Same thing with this guy the next day, with a cane, knee brace, limping and collecting, and a sign that says, "I need help." He too hops on the same TARC bus route, crossing into Kentucky, transferring buses 2 more times, moving fine now in Louisville, stopping at the grocery store, and then returning to his apartment. Hi, I'm John Bull with Wave 3 News. I'm doing a story on the people who stand out by the roadways and collect money. And I was wondering... He says he was collecting money because of a food stamp mix-up last month. You took 2 buses to get over there. Why did you go so far away?
Why?
Yeah.
Because the people over in Indiana are nicer.
They're nicer? Do you think that could be because you were up there in an area where people lost everything to the tornado?
That could have a little bit of something to do it, but
On April 2nd, a man with his arm wrapped in a bandage is working this southern Indiana exit ramp with a sign that says, "Veteran, anything will help." A profitable day. He counts his cash, eats some ice cream with his bad arm, and hops the same TARC bus route back to Louisville. He tries to hide his sign when I walk up. Your sign says you're a veteran?
Yeah, I don't want to be on the news. You want to see my ID?
Sure.
I want to be on the news, dude.
Why are you going to hop a bus? Why'd you take a bus to get over here?
Ain't no business. Get out of here.
Most don't take the bus. They get dropped off near the exit ramps, collect cash, and then get picked up nearby, like this guy. And this one, despite getting chased away several times by police, he hides around the corner, counts his growing wad of cash, and keeps going back until a green pickup pulls up to whisk him away. What do they spend the hardship donations on? We watch this woman change into her homeless outfit under an overpass, pull out her sign, and within 2 minutes, she's snatching cash. We then follow her straight to the liquor store where she buys a bottle of booze. I'm doing a story on the people that stand by the roads and collect money.
I'd rather not talk to you.
Well, I noticed you just bought some booze. Could I see what your sign says? Some are crafty. This woman rubs her pregnant stomach in the heat with a sign that says hungry. The cash flow stops when police step in, but they let her off the hook, and someone even brings her food. After they all leave the scene, her boyfriend steps out of his hiding place.
But usually they will write me tickets on it sometimes. Depends on the ordinance here.
Collecting cash in the disaster zone is so popular, these people drove their RV here from Alabama. Where are the best places to ask for money? Like this.
Oh, Lord.
There's really not a
Any exits?
Any exit?
Any exit.
A few minutes, and how much money did you get?
Only about 30 minutes, and that's 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
He counts $41 in 30 minutes of fundraising. He says they make hundreds of dollars per day. Look at your situation and say it's a little bit deceptive. You know, you guys have an RV. You know, you're doing all right. There are real homeless people in this area. What do you say to that?
When we see homeless people, We help them.
We help them out. Every time we see a homeless guy, it don't matter.
You give them this money right here?
I will give them all that money right there.
Now, panhandling is a violation of state law and a violation of local ordinance, and despite what you just saw, police tell me they do cite people for this here. We checked the court records here in Clark County, and they show that police cited people 12 times last year, that's an average of once a month, and 4 times so far this year, that's an average of once a month.